Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're new here, hello. My name is Ashley and I run things here at Oh Crow Gal. I'm going to apologize like right when we start this video already because I know for a lot of this video I will be looking in the viewfinder because I just got my haircut today. I kind of can't believe how short it is. It's short. I hacked off some inches today, so I'm still kind of wondering like, who is that in there? So if you see my eyes going like from the lens to the viewfinder, that's why. I'm just looking at my hair. I'm so excited for today's video. I am excited for this video because it reminds me of a favorites video because I get to rant and rave about things that I love. And today, the thing that I love that we get to talk about are TV shows. This is a video that's gonna focus on 10 Netflix shows that you should be watching and or binging. I've seen this video idea going around. I'll link the ones below that I've actually watched. I decided to break this into like 5 and 5. So I did 5 Netflix originals and then 5 like non-original shows that you should be watching, that you should be binging on Netflix. I steered clear of kind of the classic binging shows like Office and Friends and Mad Men and that type of thing, and I tried to pick ones that were more different. I feel like a lot of people are gonna list those, and I want you guys to check out some different ones. So that's what we're gonna do today, and I'm really, really excited. I'm not gonna lie, I already tried to film this video once with like no notes about any of the shows, and it was a disaster. So I went back, I have my little paper, and I have some notes on here, just so I can kind of jog my memory as I talk about the shows. So we're gonna start with 5 Netflix originals, and the first show I'm gonna talk about is Love. I love Love. I could not get enough of that show when it was first out. I think the 3rd season aired last year or maybe the beginning of this year. Love is about Mickey and Gus. Mickey is played by Gillian Jacobs, who's from Community, which I just recently learned that it's not Jillian, it's actually Gillian. Fun fact. And Paul Rust plays Gus, and they're both kind of hot messes, like in their own regard. It's a very much like opposites attract type of relationship. And essentially it's just a rom-com. It's a good old rom-com. It has some darker themes in it, but it's really, really good. Feel like that's gonna be a common phrase throughout this video is, it's really, really good. The one thing that stands out about this show in particular is the supporting cast. The supporting cast in this show, they're incredible, they're hilarious, and you'll watch episodes and when they're done, sometimes all you'll be talking about are those supporting characters. So definitely check it out if kind of rom-com and like offbeat comedy sort of is your thing. I feel like it's a very unique show. The next show that we just finished watching season 2, and I'm kind of pissed that we like burned through the episodes as fast as we did, is American Vandal. Guys, this show, this show is ridiculous, like in the best way, but it's ridiculous. So the show is mainly about Peter and Sam. They're high school students and they're documentarians, and the entire premise of the show is that it's a mockumentary. So it's a total kind of like satire on making a murderer or you know, those type of documentaries, except that they investigate high school pranks. So instead of trying to find out like who killed someone, in the first season, they're trying to figure out who drew penises on all of the cars in the school parking lot. It sounds very juvenile. It is freaking fabulous. It's brilliant. I think it won a couple Emmys, and I know it won like a Peabody Award. Guys, it's like next level smart. It's just so clever. Again, we just finished the 2nd season, and this isn't giving anything away because it like you see it within the first 10 minutes. The 2nd season is about somebody contaminated the lemonade and people are having bowel movement issues all over the school. It's a very it's done in such a way that is so serious about like a topic that's so ridiculous. And it's great if you need a good laugh, and also like it's a good mystery. Like they're actually trying to get to the bottom of the case, and after every episode you'll find yourself saying like, oh, I want to watch the next one, I want to watch the next one. Like when you read a good book and you get to the end of the chapter and you're like, oh, just one more page. That's how I found myself with this show. A+. Next we have Jessica Jones. This was tricky for me because I also limited myself to picking only one Marvel show. We watch Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. Oh, the lighting, goodness gracious. We've watched all of those Marvel shows on Netflix, and I only picked one. So I picked Jessica Jones because it's my favorite. I love Kristen Ritter. She plays Jessica Jones. It's definitely one of the darker Marvel series. She runs a detective agency, and the whole series is kind of about her solving kind of one big master problem, but then also trying to get through like the day-to-day stuff. She has PTSD, she's an alcoholic, she's trying to she's just kind of trying to get through her own life, but then there's this big kind of like dark cloud hanging over her that she's also trying to work through. So it's personally my favorite. After Jessica Jones, I think probably Luke Cage is my next favorite, but I loved Jessica Jones the first season of it, but this second season we just finished watching maybe 2 months ago or so, and the second season blew me away. The acting is great, and it's just really suspenseful, and it's really, you guessed it, it's really, really good. All right. So we have 2 Netflix originals left to talk about. The next one is The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. This show we're not fully caught up on, but it stars Ellie Kemper, who plays Kimmy Schmidt, and she was in a cult for I think like 15 or 20 years, and she was in a bunker, and she gets released from this bunker, and she goes to New York to try to figure out her life. And she meets Titus, who is Titus Andromedon, and he is like an aspiring / failing Broadway actor, and he just tries to kind of help her adjust and work through what is now like modern life in New York. And Ellie Kemper was kind of, you know, a beacon of light on The Office, I think, and in this show she just shines. She plays this character so well, and one thing that I really enjoy about this show is the pace. It's one of those shows where I talk about this a lot when I rave about happy endings to people. I don't know if you guys have heard of that show, but if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss the joke. You really gotta like be on your toes and really be listening. And that's one thing that I really like about it. Similarly to Love, when episodes of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt end, you'll frequently be finding yourself talking about the supporting cast. Titus Burgess plays Titus Andromedon, and that guy's like comedic timing and how he says certain lines, and I guess just like his kind of like gift as an like comedic actor is amazing. Jane Krakowski also, she is like next level. She plays a very rich, snobby, like doesn't even understand what's going on in the world around her lady who Kimmy works for initially, and she's just fabulous. So I think that says a lot when, you know, sometimes at the end of a show or end of an episode, you're not even talking about the main cast. You're talking about the supporting cast, or you're talking about everybody. Like, just to have kind of all of those characters and players working together to create like this brilliant show is like really something to write home about. So that's Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And the last one, which well, I don't want to say it's my favorite, because all of these shows are different and they're my favorite in different ways, but Master of None. I have been obsessed with Aziz Ansari for a long time now. Probably since his first stand-up special came out on Netflix years ago. I remember making my mom watch it, and she thought it was hilarious. His brand of humor whether it's in his comedy specials, whether it's on Parks and Rec. I cannot get enough of it. To me, his humor is like belly laughs. I laugh like there's no tomorrow when he tells jokes, when he says his little one-liners. I love him. And I just feel like this show is so important because it kind of captures everything. It talks about city life and being young and trying to make it. It talks about culture and, you know, being like the first born generation in America, and dating life. And it just kind of like runs the gamut in terms of like concepts that it covers, and it does all of it while being hilarious. This past season, the second season, I think like half of it was done in Italy, was shot in Italy. And there's a real love story in that season. That Lena Waithe Thanksgiving episode, oh my God, that episode, I've rewatched that episode. I watched the season twice, and I think that episode in particular I've watched 4 times because the writing and the acting in it is amazing. So if you're kind of looking for something that's a little more chill, funny, kind of has some drama to it, I wouldn't say a ton of drama, but I feel like the second season was a little bit more like romantic comedy drama driven, where the first season was more like just funny. It's just brilliant, and there's been no word about a 3rd season yet, and I will be crushed if there's not going to be a 3rd one. I believe I saw when they were doing the TCA panels, I believe Netflix said that they were open for a 3rd season, but they hadn't heard anything from Aziz yet. And I know that he's doing some stand-up shows right now, so I'm hoping that it's like he's gonna kind of do these stand-up shows and then he's gonna be ready for a 3rd season, because I just love him and I love it. I love that show. All right, so those are my 5 originals that I recommend. Now we'll go into, you know, not kind of the classics like I mentioned, like Friends and stuff like that, The Office, but kind of newer shows that I think you should, not newer, more different shows I think you should be binging and watching. Not as popular. Why don't we say that? Not as popular. The first one holds a special place in my heart. Good old Schitt's Creek. I mentioned this in my last favorites video, and what can I say? I just love it. So Schitt's Creek is about a wealthy family who the mom was a soap opera star, and the dad owned like a video store chain, like Blockbuster. It was called Rose Video, and they lose all of their money, and the only place that they can move to that they can afford is to a town that they jokingly bought years ago called Schitt's Creek. And again, they bought the town like as a complete joke. And it's basically just like about their life and how they acclimate, or lack of acclimating, to this like total podunk like town on the side of a highway. And it's Moira and Johnny are the parents, and then David and Alexis are the kids. I love all of the actors in this show. I love the inclusion and acceptance theme in this show, and it's just freaking hilarious. If you were to tell me like pick one show that's different, that stands out from all of these other shows, it would be Schitt's Creek, because I don't think I've ever watched anything like it. The writing, the themes in this show, it's all just from a very different place, and from a place that I've never seen a show like this before. We recently, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, my husband and I went to LA, and we got to see, it was like a, what did they call it? Like a night with the cast type thing. We went to this theater in LA, and it was the whole cast, and they got to talk about like how they got the part, their favorite scenes, you know, little like behind the scenes kind of like tidbits. There's one episode in particular where one of the actors performs a song, and that specific clip went completely viral. That clip was the reason why I initially watched the show, because I saw this clip and I was like, oh my God, I have to watch this. But he performed the song at this cast thing that we went to, and it was just like amazing. I bought a t-shirt. That's how amazing it was. And so anyways, it is just completely different than I'm sure anything you've ever watched. So if you're looking for something refreshing, super refreshing, tune into that. I believe tomorrow, the 4th season, I'm filming this on the 9th. I'm pretty sure it's either the 10th or 11th. The 4th season is gonna be on Netflix. So they'll all be there. All right, moving down the line. This video is gonna be so long. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, oh my God. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend stars Rachel Bloom, and Rachel Bloom is I kind of wish I was her. Like she is just brilliant in terms of her writing style and all of these songs. It's a musical show, so there are a lot of musical numbers and they're all brilliantly written. She plays Rebecca, who, Rebecca works in New York. This is like, obviously it's this is gonna be the 4th season and the last season that airs this year. But how the show starts, the premise is Rebecca is this super high-strung, really successful lawyer in New York, and she hates her life, she hates her job, and she runs into her ex-boyfriend from when she was like 16, and she sees him in New York, and he lives in West Covina, the most like random city in California you could come up with. And long story short, she ends up just quitting her job, dropping everything, and moving to West Covina to attempt to be with him. She's the crazy ex-girlfriend. And kind of in the same vein as Schitt's Creek. I've never seen anything like this show. It kind of reminds me of like when Glee came out, where you're like, holy shit, like they're weaving in music, but then the plot is really good. How are they doing this? It's kind of along those lines. It's hilarious. I find the humor to be really smart. It's another one of those where you kind of have to pay attention or you're not gonna get the joke. And it's great. It's on the CW, and right now, all of the previous seasons are already on Netflix, and the 4th season, pretty sure it's 4th, not 3rd. I think it's 4th. The 4th season starts on CW actually this week on Friday. So if you're, I wouldn't say if you're into musicals, because it's not like da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's just kind of like clever, witty songs woven in through each episode. So if you like music, and if you like comedy, and if you like, it's a very like woman-driven TV show, catch it, watch it. Next up, How to Get Away with Murder. We are also behind on this show. I think we're behind a season, but How to Get Away with Murder is another like cliffhangery show, which is why I enjoy it. I like it. It's essentially about Annalise Keating, who's played by Viola Davis. She is a lawyer and she's also a professor, and she handpicks a group of students to help her with cases, and the rest is kind of history. It's kind of like when I was talking about Jessica Jones, where she's dealing with things every day, but then there's this one like larger problem. That's kind of How to Get Away with Murder is also. They're trying to crack these kind of smaller cases. So usually like each episode is about a different case, but then there's this like big looming drama within the group. The cast of this show meshes so well together. The chemistry is great, and Viola Davis is Viola Davis. Like, I think she's won 2 Emmys for this role. And it's just a very good mystery, cliffhangery show. That one is on Netflix as well. It's on ABC if you want to catch it. Like, I don't know, on cable. I feel like that, all we're talking about is Netflix, and I'm telling you how you can watch it on cable, but whatever. Okay, 2 more left, 2 more left. Next is The Flash. So this one, hold on, Prosecco break. So this was another one kind of like with Jessica Jones, where I kind of had to like weed out, I had to pick one that I was gonna talk about, because we watched Flash, we watched Supergirl, we're gonna start that Black Lightning show. What else do we watch? We started Legends of Tomorrow, but we're way behind on that. Anyway, I had to just pick one, but it wasn't hard for me because I love Grant Gustin. Besides the fact that he's just swoon-worthy, I feel like this was the role he was born to play. He just fits this character so well. And essentially, Grant Gustin plays Barry Allen, and Barry Allen's mom was murdered when he was a kid. His dad got blamed for it, or, you know, sentenced for it. He went to jail. And the entire series is kind of him trying to solve his mom's murder because he knows his dad didn't do it. Within that, he experiences a freak accident that gives him super speed. So you kind of have, shocking, this must be a common theme in TV shows, You have this larger problem of him trying to solve his mom's murder, and then you have the problem with each episode of him trying to fight crime and defeat villains within his city. Again, if the TV was on mute and it was just me staring at Grant Gustin for an hour, that would be fine too. But I just really enjoy, I enjoy this show because it's just kind of light. It's done really well. It's written very well. I like kind of at the end of the episode being like, what the hell was that? And having to like talk with Cernan about it because it can get kind of confusing, especially because they like jump timelines and stuff. But I really, really enjoy it. And it's kind of just like a fun show to watch. All right, the last show that I'm gonna talk about is The Good Place. The Good Place, in case you were wondering, in case you're not gonna watch it on Netflix, why do I keep saying what channel it's on? It's on NBC, but it's also on Netflix. The Good Place falls into the same category as Schitt's Creek, where I've never seen a show like this before. The premise in and of itself is brilliant. Kristen Bell plays Eleanor Shellstrop, and she dies. This isn't giving anything away. This happens in the first episode. She dies, and she goes to the Good Place, but she quickly realizes that she shouldn't be there because she was not good while she was on Earth. She should be in the bad place. So it's kind of, the first season is kind of her figuring out like, what the hell, why am I here, where should I be, what is the bad place like, and kind of interacting with everyone else that's also in the good place. This show, the actors on this show, Ted Danson plays a very serious but also slightly corny mayor sort of the Good Place. Manny Jacinto, his character is hilarious. He's kind of like a dum-dum character from Florida who loves Blake Bortles and kind of just does stupid shit all the time. And my personal favorite, Jamila Jamil, who plays Tahani, who is this very regal British woman who has like partied with Taylor Swift and the Dalai Lama, and kind of always just brags about things that she's done and people that she's hung out with. And it is hilarious. It's super funny, but it keeps you on your toes because you're constantly wondering like, wait a minute, what? I thought you were here. And then if this is the good place and that's the bad place, then you're constantly thinking, and that's something that I can really enjoy. I think that there's always going to be a place for shows like The Office and Friends, and even Schitt's Creek a little bit is like that, where you can just, you don't have to pay super, you know, close attention, but then there's also room for shows like The Good Place where like you better be watching for that 30 minutes because otherwise you're gonna miss something. So that comes highly recommended. We've already started the season, this current season that's on, and kind of have been catching up on that on Hulu. I think there's only been 3. But if you're into smart comedy, and just unique, different comedy, like I was mentioning with Schitt's Creek, watch it, The Good Place. Wow, my friends, that was a lot, and that was a long video. That was really fun though, because I hope that it came across that I genuinely love all of these shows. It was really fun kind of like crafting this list and limiting myself to only picking 10 because, like I've said before, we're super pop culture junkies. We read Entertainment Weekly every week. We, you know, are constantly watching, listening, going to movies. Like, it's just, embedded in us, and it's something that I just have a real passion for. So chatting about it with all of you and sharing my love for all of these shows with all of you means a lot. So I will there's no way to like link these shows below, but I will list all of these shows down below so that you guys can kind of have reference if you're interested in any of them. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell in case you want notifications of when I post. Again, I'm really trying to get back to my 3 days a week. I was good at that for a while and then fell off. So trying to get back up on the wagon for 3 days a week. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, friends.